Awesome, guys. Welcome to our Monday business training. My name is Brittany Cara. If you're brand new tuning into these trainings, we're so glad to see you on. Rebecca and I linked arms a couple months ago, and we wanted to really collaborate with other powerful leaders in Isogenics and other powerful women that are really doing the do and making it happen and talking about all the different things that we really need to master and understand as we step into network marketing. I truly believe that anyone can do network marketing, but I also believe that network marketing takes some specific skills, and it also takes the mindset to go long term. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We have a really special guest speaker, which I'll introduce in a minute. But I just really want you all to think about, no matter how long you've been in Isogenics, whether it's been 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is, that this is really, I love that our company talks about this all the time, but it's a legacy company. And so our trainer today is really going to talk about what that means. And as business owners, like, how do we start to get into the legacy mindset of, this isn't a get rich quick, guys. This is a legitimate business that you have to work at every day and you have to build from the ground up. But it's something, like I just showed you guys my trailer, it's something that you can do in the pockets of your life, with your family, with your children, from home, on a beach, on vacation, wherever it is that you want to be in your life, you can really build this. So I'm super excited for our guest speaker today. She's become one of my dear friends in this company. And what I love about our company is that you don't have to be financially linked to collaborate with amazing women. Rebecca and I aren't financially linked. And the lady I'm going to introduce, we're all on totally different teams, but we love and respect each other. And we've learned a lot from each other over the years. So Mindy Schinnerer is a former professional singer. She toured with amazing artists such as Fleetwood Mac, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on her name. Stevie Nicks. I'm sorry, Stevie. I had your bio in front of me, but I was like, I know it. I could just read it. Stevie Nicks and other amazing artists. She is a 4-star Golden Circle Crystal executive, and she is one of our newest Isogenics millionaires. So I would love to bring on the line one of my dear friends, one of the women that have kept me in this company for as long as I've been in the company, the beautiful Mindy Schinnerer. Thank you, Mindy, for being on.
Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. We have a little noise there from, okay, we got it. Thanks, Rebecca. So gosh, I was thinking about what I wanted to share today. And I know we have half an hour, and I probably have like a couple hours of, of information and insights and just experiences that I've had in Isogenics. So why don't I start with my background a little bit and then move into the rest. So as Brittany said, I was a performer. I am a performer. And I grew up in Wisconsin, and I came to Los Angeles to pursue my dreams as a professional singer. And when I was in college, I went to college for music. Music was all I ever really wanted to do. And in order to create a career in music, I had to start small. I had to work on my craft. I had to work on my skills. So all the things that I see in my musical career is really prepared me for life in network marketing. And the principles apply whether you're wanting to become a mom, whether you're wanting to open a different kind of business, or to do anything in life. There's steps that have to be taken, and steps that have to be taken consistently. So, I set myself up. When I moved to Los Angeles, I knew that I wanted to. Somebody said, decide what you want to do first, because there's so many opportunities out there. So I got clear. I got crystal clear on my vision of what I wanted to do. And I said, I would love to be a background singer for someone like Don Henley. I moved to Los Angeles, and sure enough, I was listening to a friend play, and sat next to me, Sheryl Crow, who at the time had not released her first record. And she's sitting next to me. We started talking. She had sung with Don Henley. In comes Don Henley's keyboard player at the time, and we're watching someone else play. So I literally been here a couple months. And they said, wow, what did you move to LA for? And I said, well, I moved here for my singing career, but I would really love to go on the road with someone like Don Henley. Oh, well, by the way, he's auditioning coming up for his new tour. And I said, I would really love that opportunity. Oh, well, do you have, literally, you guys, it's like a fairy tale experience. But I think, I finished the story. So actually, I did go on, and I went to that audition. And, when I moved to LA, I got myself a job waitressing because it was a step I needed to take to pay the bills, right? But I had my vision clear on what I wanted to do was to start out working with someone like him. And when I set that in my mind, I didn't know how that was going to happen. So I could have never planned out to meet those people in that club, seeing someone else play. So, that was really kind of an incredible experience. And I think about that in relationship to Isogenics as well, which I'll go into a little bit further later. So fast forward, I get the job with Don Henley. I go audition, I get the job. Dream come true 3 months after I moved to Los Angeles. I had set up my life. I had sent all my bills to my mom, became my business manager in Wisconsin, so that I had freedom out here. I did not get an apartment. I also, I was living with a friend of mine, rented a room in her house, so I had freedom and flexibility. So I knew all the pieces that I kind of like set myself up. I was planning my life for the goal that I wanted, for the vision I had of what I wanted to do. And, I think, we have to take the steps, but stay out of the how, because there's so much when we commit to something that we have a vision for. There's so much that we can leave up to the universe, that God to bring into our life, that we could never create it as good as it can really be. We are the creators, but we're co-creators, right? So I then went on to also sing with, as Brittany said, I did sing with Stevie Nicks because she saw me sing with Don Henley and asked me to join Fleetwood Mac based on that. So it was ridiculous. It was like, wow, I just kept visioning what I wanted. And I had taken steps to do other things along the way. So I did what it took. I became, I'd be on the road and I would have incredible income, and I'd come back home and be unemployed. That's the life that I had to live. So I'd find a job. So I became a massage therapist. So I became a legal secretary. I did the things I needed to do to pay the bills while I was building my dream. And I was fortunate enough to continue to go on the road and continue to earn a great living. And I toured till I was 7 months pregnant with my first son. Yeah. So the other dream I had in my life was to have children. And I didn't know how that was going to happen because I was out on the road and didn't have a boyfriend. so I was just visioning this life I always envisioned myself with having a family. The reason I'm sharing that with you is because as I got into performing, I was realizing that part of my vision was calling me inside, and I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to create that. So I wasn't dating with that in mind. I had to get very clear with myself again, and I remember exactly when that happened. I said, okay, if this is really what I want, am I taking the steps necessary to get what I want? And you wouldn't think you'd kind of think of steps in creating a life with a partner, but actually it has to be something that you desire and you take the steps, you're conscious of creating. So I got really clear about that too. And I remember that moment in some hotel in Denver. I remember exactly where I was. And I said, do I want to continue to follow this path of music? Or do I really want a family and a husband and a family more? And the answer came from my gut. And I knew to follow that. And it was that I wanted the family more. And once I made that decision, I was led to meet people that also wanted men, that also wanted family. And I was blessed enough to meet my husband and have a child soon thereafter. So I didn't have my son till I was 41 years old. What if I would have given up on that because I was too old? What if I would have let a lot of negativity come into my head? Or I should probably just do this, or I should, I'm too old for that, or whatever, and give up on that dream. I can't imagine my life without the beautiful kids that I have now. I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old son that I feel are the result of really listening to my soul's calling. When Isagenix was brought into my life, I wasn't looking for a network marketing business. I was looking to feel better in my life. And my son was 10 months old, and I wasn't feeling great. I feel like that pregnancy really took a lot out of me. So I can relate to a lot of other moms that the nutrition of this nutrition really turned my life around. And I didn't want to stop feeling as great as I was feeling. So I started sharing it with people, but I didn't even share it with the intention. I didn't share it with the intention of building a business. I shared it with the intention of sharing something that I loved that worked for me finally, and what I would have given. Brittany and I talked about this the other day, what I would have given to have this nutrition when I was on the road, and quite honestly, what I would have given to have this income when I was on the road, because all of that space in between when I was scrambling, looking for the next job, was tough, and I believe for anyone, no matter your economic status, to have something so incredibly powerful and valuable in my life, physically and financially, I would have had more freedom and flexibility to truly pursue the things that I was passionate about when I was on the road. So perhaps I would have recorded more of my own music, or I would have had more freedom to do that kind of stuff, and more finances to do that kind of stuff. And not that, I don't know what your dreams and goals are on this line. It might not have anything to do with music or acting or anything like that. But we have desires put in us for a reason, because they're ours to make manifest. And that's exciting. And I really believe this vehicle is something that can help us to create that no matter what it is. So I want to backstep a minute and also tell you that when Isagenix came into my life, I sat on my couch and I was like, should I do this? Because I was sharing it with people anyway. Sat on my couch, I tuned in, I meditated, I listened until I got an answer. And the answer I got was like that answer I got when I knew that I wanted to have a family. And it was like this, yes, I call it a spiritual hit. So it was like a hit inside that said, yes, do this. And I was like, seriously? I don't know how to do this. I've never been in sales because I thought it was about sales. I've never done any sort of network marketing. I didn't know that if I could do it. I didn't have a lot of belief in myself, and I had fear. Like I had fear when I moved out to Los Angeles. I had fear when I, backtracked and went to college in Miami from little town in Wausau, Wisconsin. And to think about that trajectory, I could have never, to really have known what was on the other end is just, it's miraculous. But you guys, like all of our lives are working like that. We just have to put certain things, first of all, ask and put certain things in place to make it all come to be. So when I think about a legacy mindset, like we're creating, we have this opportunity to create this life of wellness for ourselves, for our family. We have this opportunity to create freedom for ourselves. So freedom to have choice. Right now I have choice. I am at home with my kids, and I would not want it any other way. I left that career to be a stay-at-home mom, and Isagenix came into my life. What a gift. Like, oh my God. And I didn't know what I had when I had it. I just wanted to lose weight. Like literally, I had no eye on the business. I started to share it with people and started to get my products paid for. That was pretty cool. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I could do this. Maybe I should learn more about it. And honestly, same thing had to happen. I had to make a decision. So I really see my whole career as decision after decision after decision. And when you make a decision, it means you cut out all other possibilities. So that means that you commit to that decision. So if I've made a decision to give up white sugar, right, that I'm not going to eat white sugar, and I go to a party and there's white sugar, if I've got this, this crazy story in my head going, should I, shouldn't I? Well, like I used to have, I used to have that in my head before Isogenics kind of gave me that balance. Like this decision's made, so it's not a big deal. I'm not going to do it. Or if I've said, my goal is to enroll, 2 people a month. Let's say my goal is to enroll 2 people a month. That's a decision. I'm committed to that decision. I'm going to do what it takes to create the 2 enrollments a month. So I think a lot of times in this business, we tend to have a toe in the water, and we aren't 2 feet in, and we aren't fully committed to that decision. So I just invite you to create some space for yourself and to get really clear. Create a crystal clear vision of not how much money you want to make in Isogenics, but what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your life to look like, 3 years from now? It is it's a lifestyle we're creating, right? It's a lifestyle at 3 years, 5 years. I'm in Isogenics 13 years. Would I have ever believed that I would still be in Isogenics? No, but I've created the life that I wanted. It's the lifestyle, and Isogenics has been the path that has taken me here. So I will be picking, my son actually stayed home from school today. No, I didn't have to take off of work, right? I'm always there to pick them up after school. I'm always the one to take them to their activities, to be able to go pick them up during the middle of the day if I need to. And that to me is my fuel. Yes, I have other visions of what I want to create in my life. Like right now, we're looking at, high schools, and I'm going to be looking at colleges. And this lifestyle that I'm creating and I'm continuing to create gives me that freedom and flexibility to be able to offer that to them and to be present for them. So a lot of you are moms, and the best advice I can give to you is to be present with your children. So yes, Isogenics is a priority in my life, and I'm just going to be very, very transparent with you guys. Isogenics is a priority, but my children are my top priority. So if my child is screaming and I'm on a call, I have to say, excuse me, I'm going to have to call you back. And sometimes in my Isogenics life, I didn't do that. I have some regrets and some lessons I've learned just by, my drive and my desire to create more success and more income here. And probably I would have been, I could have created faster success in Isogenics. And I guess we can ask, really, Brittany, what is the measure of success? You and I have talked about this a lot. I feel like I'm a really successful mom, and more so than anything, that is the highest value to me. So if I'm living according to that, my business, I can trust that I'm taking the steps necessary in my business, and I will reach the financial success that I want as well. Because I have been successful in Isogenics. I might not have been the fastest leader or the fastest, have the fastest growing business, but I have a successful 6-figure income every year that's residual, you guys. So in my music career, residual income has dried up. Like I get a check every once in a while for 25 cents, 53 cents, something like that, right? But my residual income in Isogenics is steady or it's growing. depending upon what's going on with my team and with my own activity. But that flexibility and that freedom to be with my kids, to be able to be present with them, is worth it all.
Mindy, can I just ask you, because you just dropped so many nuggets, and I love that you're so raw and real, and that's why I wanted you to come on here, because you have been in the game for 13 years, and most people would never stay in long enough to have the success that you've been able to cultivate because you stayed committed. So can you just, when you talk about the lifestyle, I love that, because I live that too. I get to be there to pick up my kids every day from school, but as a business owner, for some of the new moms on the line they're trying to wrap their mind around what do these ladies do all day, right? Because I get this question a lot, how do you do it? What would some of your tips be in terms of the structure of the business person and the mom working synergistically together? And it's not always synergistically, and I'm the first to say that too. But what are some tips you could give on that for your specific business and how you work with your family at home?
Well, I would say number one, give up being a perfectionist. There will never be a day, because that's, I think we all sort of struggle with that a little bit. Your every day is never going to look the same, and that's okay. But I would say, when you've got little ones like you and Rebecca, hi Luca, do it with them. So I would be with my baby, feeding him, and I'd be listening to something. Not usually talking, but I would be listening to something while I was, because I could listen and I could talk to him and I could feed him and I could do that. So there's certain times where you can do things alongside your children. I think if your children are at the age where they can understand that you're working on your business, creating fun things for them after. A mom's going to do this now, and then we're going to do this together. I think making sure that you're giving equal love to both, because you don't want to have. So when I said I made mistakes, is what I used to do is when I was working on my business, I'd feel guilty I wasn't with my kids, and when I was with my kids, I'd feel guilty I wasn't working on my business. So the only way that really gave me flow with that was to be more structured, and I'm not a very structured person. So, I'm a creative person. I'm more like a go with the flow kind of person, right? So that was something I had to learn. I had to learn to do.
On the front of her head.
Brittany, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, somebody just jumped on the line, and we're going to mute them out.
Okay.
I was trying to find who it was. I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's really let me think about that. I think it's having a plan. I think there's a couple things I wanted to say too. Is you're going to move through. So for those of you, how many people have done Healthy Mind and Body? Have a lot of people on your team done Healthy Mind and Body? It's one of the things that I think is critical to our success moving forward for ourselves and for the people that we're coaching, whether it's for product or business, because it teaches them about the cycle of growth. And honestly, till I first learned about the cycle of growth from Rod, I didn't realize that deception phase was necessary. So I want to make that really crystal clear, that we go through this cycle of growth many times over. So we have this great idea for something, and so many times here we go, I'm going to do it, I can do it, and we make this plan of action and we get into it, and our kid gets the flu, and we go, oh, how can I do this? We let distract our things be distractions, and I think that's the really slippery slope, is letting distractions, letting your kids be distractions, or other things in your life be distractions from your business, instead of finding a way to do it alongside. And then also not being aware that I go through deception. You go through deception. Peter Kelly probably went through deception. Everyone, everyone, no matter what they're doing, every top leader that we talked to at our Eric Worre event, right, at the Influencer Summit that we were just blessed to go to, goes through deception. So that's the monkey mind, you guys. That's the crazy monkey mind that says, oh, maybe I really can't do this. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Do you think I had that mindset when I was coming out here to be a professional singer? I already was a professional singer in Chicago. Why was I going to leave a successful career? Shut it down. Come out here. The two did not relate, right? Or they didn't play into each other. I had built skills, but it didn't get me anything by being on
I don't know what's happening. We have a rogue sharer.
Sorry.
We got a rogue screen sharer. It's all good. Okay.
So anyway, it's I think, what was I saying? I was saying
the deception, like you were talking about the deception.
Thank you.
Everybody has deception.
Yes.
Everyone has a deception.
Yes.
And Mindy, do you mind if I share our journey of my deception colliding with your brilliance? Okay.
Please.
Because okay, so this is really for people on the line that have been in Isagenix longer than 2 years. Because if you're still in that new, fresh 2-year spirit, you haven't quite hit this deception yet, right? Where you're like, I'm doing this thing and I'm building this business and I'm going to be a millionaire, and then it doesn't happen, and you keep setting goals and you're like, when is it going to happen? And you're like working. And one of the best examples I ever heard when I first got into this company was, the first 2 to 5 years is like your foundation. And I remember thinking, well, I'm going to do it faster than that. Right. I remember thinking, well, that's for other people, but I'm going to crush it in that first. I'm going to be one of those fast success stories. And you guys, I wasn't. I've been in the company 10 years. It took me, in the last 4 years, I've built a 6-figure income, but I struggled for the first 6. And that's just the honest truth. I was bad at network marketing. I didn't have the skills that I needed. So if you're on the line and you've been in a long time, don't judge. Don't look at the person that did it in 6 months, a year. Look at Mindy. Look at people that are staying in the game longer than 5, 6, 7 years, because that's the majority of what it's going to take most people to do. There's going to be the few rock stars that go really fast, but that's the exception to the rule. Most of us, it takes a long time. So you just want to have that legacy mindset. And so my deception was, I was tired. I was burnt out. I was stuck at 1 star and I was going to quit. And I walked into a gym that I don't go to a lot in my area. And Mindy lives in a town 30 minutes the other way. She doesn't go to this gym. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. And Mindy and I are not financially linked, but she was always someone that I looked up to in the company. And we had formed a really beautiful friendship over the years. So I walk into this gym, and literally that morning I was praying to God, and I was like, God, Isagenix isn't for me. Like, show me what I'm supposed to do with my life, because I don't think this is it. How many of you have ever had that moment in network marketing? You're like, this is not for me. Okay. I was there, and I was literally ready to like turn my business center in and just be done. And I walk in and there's Mindy. Like, what are the chances of that? And she's like, how are you? And I just burst into tears, and I'm like, I'm going to quit, and my business is a mess, and I'm not a good leader, and blah, like full on, like down the deception hole I went. And she just like took me by the shoulders, and we had this little crying session. And she's like, Brittany, I've been there. You have to keep going. You have to, I'll never forget these words. You said, you have to find out what Isagenix means in your soul. And if you still feel like you're drawn to it, then you need to pick yourself up and act like a businesswoman and get to work. And I was like, okay. And it was like a really pivotal moment in my life. So really, Mindy's one of the reasons I'm still in the company, because just the chances that we would be at, it was like a random time. And she's like, I just was running errands and I decided to come to the gym for some reason here. And I'm like, you don't even live here. It was like totally bizarre, you guys. So it was like that divine intervention where I just needed to hear what she had to say. So what I want to say to all the leaders on the line is if you've been in a long time, talk to your team about this. Don't shield them from the reality that they're going to want to quit and then make them feel bad that they don't go fast like this person or that person. Like, be honest with them. My team totally knows that I've had tremendous amounts of struggles. They know my ups and downs. I tell them where my cycles are at. When I'm having low weeks, I'm like, it's okay, guys, I'm having a low week too. And you know what? When we have a big week, we celebrate that, but we're honest about it because it is legacy. So I just had to share, I wanted to just share that. And then just about the deception, because you were such a huge part of that for me. And I agree with you that healthy mind and body is just phenomenal. So what are some key tips that you want to leave everybody with just moving forward? Like, what would you say are the things that they can do daily to get themselves in that legacy mindset, that this is something that they can build for generations to come, not just now, but for their children and their children's children? Like, how do you start to like help someone get into that flow?
I think that starting with the awareness that the universe is always saying yes to us. So that our mindset is really key. Our mindset is key in we are attractors. So really understanding that we attract what we vision, we attract to us. And those thoughts that are going through our heads, we have to be mindful of our thoughts. And not give those, recognizing that when those crazy thoughts come, let them pass right on through. Let them pass right on through. Don't buy into them. And, getting very, like I said earlier, when you get clear on your vision, spend some time in that vision. So this is something that Rod Hairston teaches as well, is, take time to get yourself in the feeling tone of that which you want to create. Okay, so that you can make it something that you feel excited about and attached to. What do you want that to look like? And the cool part about doing a visioning process, whether you're doing a vision board or whether you're doing a book or whether you just sit and visualize it, is that it only has to be 50% believable to your conscious mind. This is something I learned at USM. So only 50% believable to your conscious mind, which actually makes it very cool, because what you write out and you go, okay, that's 50% believable. I can believe that 50%, because your conscious mind might go, blah, 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 and you're like, no, this is what I know that I want. So then you leave the rest to the unconscious mind to look for opportunities, look for people, and keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes, your heart open. Cultivate an abundance mindset within yourself, within your team, within the people that you support. So creating a really heart-centered experience for the people who are starting putting isogenics in their body. Make that experience, make that be your goal. I'm going to create a heart-centered experience for this person so they know that I really care about them. This isn't about, how many value packs can I do in a week? This is about how many people can I help to open their minds to something that there is a better way for them physically. Have that be the goal, right? And if you're focused on that and creating relationships with people and heart-centered relationships with people, whether it's your, for the product's experience or, guiding them into creating some extra income, it's about those relationships, and that's creating a movement. I mean, that is one of the most special things that we have in Isogenics, right? That you and I have as cross-line partners, as we have this family that I know that we are a part of. So bringing people into that family and letting them know that they can be a part of this too. And it's not going to be for everybody. Love them where they're at. Do not give up on people. Imagine someone would have given up on me. Imagine, I was a product consumer for many, many years, just getting my products paid for, and did this way part-time. There were years where I sponsored 2 people. I wasn't building a business. I hadn't made that decision to commit to building a business. So when I say 13 years, right, a lot of that was as a consumer. Don't give up on your consumers. Even if people stop, I have had so many people come back. Like they've terminated their accounts. I've had people who have had now 3 accounts with me over the years, right? Because they keep coming back because nothing makes them feel as good as Isogenics, as when they were using Isogenics. So don't give up on people. Don't give up on yourself. Reach out to someone. You have lifelines all over the place in the company. There was something else that I also wanted to say. Oh, yes. So what you're telling yourself, I said to the universe is always saying yes to you. it's really important, because if you say, I really can't do this, and if you focus on that, or, oh my God, this person returned their pack, or I've been in this business, 3 months and I haven't enrolled one person. This must not be for me. The universe will say, okay, you must be right, right? It's like the Henry Ford statement. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I mean, those things we're all created because they're truisms. It's not some like a cute little saying. It's the reality of how life works for us, is always working for us and agreeing with us. So what do we hold true about ourselves and about our possibilities and our potential? And, somebody told me this too, and I think, the only way to fail in isogenics is to quit. And, people, and I kept that in my mind, even though sometimes I was like, I really wanted to quit. Truthfully. And I'm like, yeah, but then that's where my failure's at. Like, I know if I stay here and I continue to show up, I will have success. So I just want everyone to believe, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, there's so much available to help you to open up to that possibility and to that reality of how beautiful and how so much greatness within every single person that's just waiting to be shared and expressed. It's not only available for one or a couple, and it's certainly not only available for the people who rocket ship to success. That is the anomaly. It's celebrated in our company to show, wow, what an extravagant experience that this actually can offer. But there's hundreds of thousands of people that have income like we do, that, if I want to create more, then that's up to me. That's up to the decision for me to create more in my life through isogenics, just like it is for everybody else. So I hope that was helpful.
It was super helpful. I love it. There are so many nuggets. I mean, really what I'm hearing from you is just consistency, show up, listen to your soul. Like, we have one of the most forgiving businesses. Like, you guys, yes. you can walk away from this thing and come back and it's like still there. I mean, I don't recommend walking away, but it's a very forgiving industry. And that was one of the things that Eric Worre taught us at ISA Influencers. This is one of the most forgiving. You can suck for years and then come back and rock it, and people don't remember that you sucked. Right. Like, they're just like going to celebrate you when you rise to your occasion. Like, it's all good. So I'd love to bring Rebecca on. Rebecca, do you want to add anything? I know you've had such a journey with this too. So Mindy, you crushed it.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Mindy, thank you so much. I took 2 pages of notes I'm going to be sharing. No, I think everything Mindy said, isogenics or network marketing is just like anything else, in that we're going to start out not being great. The difference I think with this is that it's a volunteer thing. It's not like going to a job where someone tells you, like, this is what you need to do. You don't go in knowing you're in your 90-day training period where someone's going to hold your hand. I mean, here we have the ability to have our hand held like as long as we want, or as long as our mentor will hold it. And then if they don't, then someone else will. But just understanding that we have the best here. Like Eric Worre says, it's not perfect, but it's better. But if you are someone that's on here and you're excited, or you're reaching, as Mindy talked about, deception, it really is up to you to get clarity on what you want. And I love the fact, Mindy, you talked about that it's not about envisioning like an ideal paycheck. I had set a goal this year for an income amount, but I wasn't emotionally attached to that. I was like, oh, it's just this number. And then my coach said, let's walk through and design your ideal lifestyle. And like, what does that look like? Like, what are you doing? How much are you working? What are you spending your time on? How much money are you contributing? Where are you traveling? Who are you giving things to? And then I budgeted what is my lifestyle cost? And that's the number it ends up, it's lower, but it's way more exciting because that actually has a vision and a picture that is a true thing. Mm-hmm. And then I know there was one other thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot. Will you sing for us?
What?
Yes, come on.
Yes! Oh my God.
I know you're not warmed up, but
I'm not warmed up, and I don't know any songs anymore.
You do? Okay, hold on. What you sing? What's the one you sing at Jeff's event? Go Your Own Way. That one's so good. You could do it, Mindy. We totally just Rebecca texted me. She's like, should we make Mindy sing? Yes. Yes. I should have told you before.
Oh my God. I don't know. Usually when I've tried to sing over Zoom and it has this weird thing happen, but
I guarantee that your voice, even over Zoom, will be way better than any of ours. You guys guarantee that? 'Cause
oh boy. I'm just trying to think of a song.
Go your own way.
yeah, you can go your own way. Oh, see, now I'm doing the worst singing for you. Then
I
you
know,
can
literally the worst.
You
Right,
can go your
right.
own way.
Let me see. Okay, I'll try. Hello, you long shots. You can hear me? Is that okay? Dark horse runners, hairbrush singers, dashboard drummers. Hello, you wild magnolias, just waiting to bloom. There's a little bit of all that inside of me and you. Thank God even crazy dreams come true. How's that?
So awesome. People are like, oh my gosh, look at the chat. People are like, oh my gosh. Mindy, you're amazing. Thank you. This is the second training call you've done for my team this week, so you rock. We did an actors workshop and Mindy crushed it on Saturday. So thank you guys for being on.
My pleasure.
We love you guys. We are going to have these recordings uploaded on Rebecca and my team sites on YouTube. You can, and also in our pages. We'll make sure to get you the link, Mindy, so you can share away as well.
Okay.
And thank you all for being on. We've got some other amazing guest speakers coming up in the following Mondays. So tune in, bring your teams on. All are welcome. And we just thank you guys for your time and for your leadership and for tuning in.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Mindy.